Welcome to our live stream. I feel like it's been a while since we've done one. My cat just joined us and then left. But good morning. I'm really glad to see a bunch of you on here with me. Can everyone hear me okay and see me okay before I keep going? I was gonna start talking, but just to make sure that you can all hear me and see me all right. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, good. A bunch of you can. That's great. I feel like it's been a long time between spring break and then I got violently sick on the last day of our cruise. So I'll back all the way up here. So I obviously went on a cruise for spring break and I had a wonderful time. It was an incredible amount of fun. I gained 5 pounds from all of the food that I ate, which was a very respectable amount. I had a picture that I saved to show you. Right when we got on the ship, right when we got on the ship, I found the cake. It didn't take me hardly 5 minutes before I had a piece of cake in my hand on the cruise ship. I was wearing my mask and everything. Look, I was being so responsible. But they had this giant like cake buffet, and I found a slice of it and took a picture to show you as evidence. But I had this wonderful time on the ship, and then at the very end of it, I just started getting sick. So I was really sick last week, and then I was taking cough medicine, which interacted badly with another medication that I'm on, and it landed me in the hospital, and I was in really, really bad shape for a couple of days. So I'm sorry to have missed our stream last week. I'm sure you can still hear it in my voice, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit better and trying to get back to business as usual. So we will pick up where we left off. And again, I'm sorry for the interruption and not having a stream last week. I was literally in the hospital, so that would have made it very difficult last Wednesday to meet with all of you. But again, I'm doing better now and on the upward. So hopefully all good things. So we are officially in week number 13, and we don't have that many weeks left of our class for the semester. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I feel better at this point as well too. So thank you. Even though it's slow, I'll still take it. But as I said, we are in week number 13. So let's go over to our class on Canvas together. And if we scroll all the way down, we are here. And there's only 14, 15, 16, and 17. So we don't have too many more weeks left to go. We are officially in our last fourth of the course. So this week we will look at stress and health. Next week we will look at the psychological disorders. Week 15 we look at the therapies and treatments for those disorders. Week 16 we look at social psychology. And then the very last week, week number 17, we are looking at just the final exam and the closing assignment and so on. So we are definitely getting down to the end of the semester. So hopefully you had a nice relaxing break and you're feeling better than I am. And what we'll do is we'll take a quick look at last week, and then we'll look at some reminders for this week as well. And of course, I'll see if you have any questions for me. And then I do have an extra credit question for you since we didn't have one last week. So last week for week number 12, if we go back for just a moment here, last week we were looking at the topic of personality. So we were talking a little bit about what makes us the people that we are, what are all the different theories that can contribute to our personality, and how and why we are the way that we are today. And we also had our exam number 3 last week. So just a couple of pieces of feedback. In terms of discussion number 12 from last week, I really enjoyed reading all of your contributions to your personality. A lot of you talked about, the things that have made you who you are. I enjoyed your description of the 5 different words describing who you are, and then the comments about other people's descriptions of you. I think this was my favorite part. A lot of you talked quite a bit about how your description was maybe a little bit different from somebody else that you knew, and a couple of you were, I tried not to get offended. It was pretty funny to read your reactions. So I hope that was interesting to you to kind of see how other people would describe you versus maybe how you would describe yourself. And then you were in charge of taking one of the personality quizzes that I shared with you. And these were kind of all over the place. A lot of you took one for fun, but also took some of the better ones like the CSI that's on this Personality Pathways website and talking about it. So the number one reason that people lost a couple of points was just not elaborating quite enough. Some of you missed number 4 completely, or said, I took this test, but then didn't describe it or talk about it at all. So that was the biggest thing that I saw, was just some of you not quite elaborating enough on that. Otherwise, most of you got full points. Really, really nicely done. Don't forget to continue responding to a classmate. A lot of you did that, which is fantastic. But remember that those 2 points will definitely start to add up. So you want to always make sure that you're doing that. I will continue to remind you for the remaining weeks that we have left. The other thing, we did have our 3rd exam last week, and most of you did beautifully. I mean, really, really nicely done. There were a lot of A's on the test. So last week, again, exam 3, the average amount of time people took was about 63 minutes to take the exam. So 12 minutes to spare on average. Most of you had plenty of time for the test. The highest score was 100%. The lowest score was a 35%, so definitely a little bit of a range. And the average was just under an A. It was a very high B. So again, a lot of great scores. I hope what this means is you're very used to the exams at this point. You know what to expect. You know how to prepare. Continue to use it as a learning opportunity. So I know I say this every time, but we do have one more test left in this class. Exam number 4 is your final exam. And so really important that you are continuing to do well on that. If you've done well in the first 3, do the same thing throughout this last unit. If you continue to struggle a little bit, maybe start early with the study guide, or make sure that you are completing the study guide, to make sure that you're getting those full points. So we do, as I said, start that last unit of the semester as of Monday. So weeks 13 through 17 are now, kind of our next focus. Are there any questions or thoughts or anything from previously before I move on to this week? Any questions or thoughts? I'll put that here in the chat. See if there's anything that's on your mind about last week or spring break before we move on to week number 13. Wait just a second just to make sure. And of course, if you think of something, feel free to put that in the chat, and I will of course answer it. Hopefully you're enjoying my very smoky voice this morning. It's so gravelly. I've been coughing a lot, and so my voice definitely sounds a little bit like it. All right, so I don't see anything for now, so I'm going to just go ahead and keep going. For this week, as I said, we're covering stress and health. And I love that I'm talking to you about health as I'm sick. But for this week, make sure that you read chapter 13 in the ebook. Go through and read everything that's there, and all the boxes and all of that kind of stuff like usual. You're going to want to go through the chapter 13 lecture like usual, right? A lot of people are probably sick right now coming back from spring break, and it's just that time of year. The weather's been kind of erratic, of hot, cold, and that always does a number on me. I don't know if any of you maybe as well. But chapter 13 lectures, so the first page are the objectives and summary, and you can listen to it or read it, of course. Beyond the book, I have a little video here about what is stress, and then also a presentation that I made about how stress affects the body. This might be something that is, both of these, a little bit helpful for the discussion this week. Again, make sure anytime I include a video or a link that you're clicking on it and watching it. Those are all materials that could be on the exam and will definitely be helpful for understanding the materials. The In Pop Culture page, just a couple of shows and movies that feature topics related to stress, whether it's a PTSD or just coping with stress. A couple of different examples here. There's also a song related to that. On page 4, here are all the terms that you'll need to know from chapter 13 for the next exam. So make sure that you're preparing these. Again, you could always study these this week and then add as we move through next week and beyond. So these are all the terms that you'll need to know from this chapter. And then finally on the last page, some guided relaxation exercises, a little bit of application. I gave you here my absolute favorite guided relaxation exercise, and it's called the forest visualization. And I really, really love this one. And this will come back in the discussion this week, so you could always use it for that as well. But it's about 10 minutes long. It's a wonderful relaxation, visualization thing to help calm you down and kind of center and refocus and work on mindfulness, which is a great topic for this week. Don't forget to also go through and watch the chapter 13 lecture video. So here I'm lecturing on the chapter. You're going to want to take notes and pay attention. Those materials will definitely appear on the exam. You have a discussion for this week, as always. So discussion number 13 is related to stress and health. We're 15 points like always, 13 points for your responses to my questions, and then 2 for your responses to a peer. And what you'll be doing is really thinking about how our body is affected by stress, and also looking at some of these guided relaxation exercises. So I want you to do one of these two. Either go to this website and choose any of the guided visualizations that are on there. You could do the one that I have here, or if you have a favorite visualization or relaxation exercise, by all means, feel free to do that. And feel free to send it to me too. If it's one you really like online, feel free to send it. I always love to explore new ones of these. You're also going to read the 2 little articles that I have right here about stress and the body. So if you click on that little stress article link, it's going to bring up 2 articles. 1, the effects of stress on the body, and 2, same title, but both of them kind of get at different ideas about how stress affects our system. And you can read them or listen to me reading them to you. But once you have completed the guided relaxation exercise and you've read the 2 articles, you're going to answer these 3 questions. So you'll tell me about your relaxation exercise, which one you did, how did it go, was it easy for you, how'd you feel before and during and after. Totally fine if you struggled with it, please be honest. That's really, really common and normal. Don't feel bad if that's the case. Number 2, why are deep breathing, meditation, or other relaxation exercises helpful for reducing stress? In other words, what do they do specifically to the mind and body to reduce our stress levels? And I'm really looking for you to reference some of the physiological effects of stress on the body, either from the articles or also from the lecture that I had for you on Canvas. So make sure that you're really being specific. Don't just say, oh, they calm us down. Tell me specifically, what do they do to the body and why are they helpful? And then number 3, I want you to describe and explain how you personally cope with your stress. And if you don't do that well, that's totally okay. Please be honest. But how do you cope with stress? What are some of the ways that you deal with that? And do you do it well? What are some of the ways that you tackle and cope with your stress? So when you're ready, of course, hit reply. And you can answer my questions that are right here. So make sure that you're doing that. And then also, don't forget to reply to a classmate. Really important to get those 2 points. And this is due by Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. as usual. The other thing that you have this week, you do have one more thing that is due. And that is you have the self-assessment number 3. And you've done a few of these for me at this point. It's just my way of having you think about and really kind of process how you're doing in the course. So we're 3/4 of the way through our class. We've completed 12 weeks of content. I'd like you to take a minute to consider your progress, your grades, and your approach to the class. And make sure that you're responding to the questions in here honestly and thinking about how you're going to tackle this last 4th that we started this week. So there's no time limit, but this is worth 5 points, 1 point for each question. So when you're ready, you'll hit take the survey. And then questions that you're going to answer. I'm currently earning the grade that I want in this class, true or false. If you responded false, what are some of the things that you could do to improve your performance? Or how can you maintain it if you answered true? Number 3, how many optional Twitch extra credit opportunities have you done this semester? So I gave you a couple of choices. How many of these have you done? Again, be honest. And then what factors have influenced your attendance and participation in these Twitch live streams? So what are some of the reasons that you maybe have participated or haven't participated? Again, be honest. I'm just always looking to improve. And then number 5, if you were to start over in this class, what's one thing, if any, that you might do differently to be more successful? And when you're done, you'll hit submit and you'll get 5 points as long as you answer all of these. So again, please be honest. More than anything, I'm just looking for you to reflect and kind of think about how you've done in the course and maybe what could be done better. Other than that, I'll give you the Twitch extra credit question in a moment. But are there any questions at all for me? Anything that I can answer? I do have a couple of reminders and things to just talk about really quickly. But any questions for me before I do that? Let me just bring up my calendar here so I can get the right dates. So I'm going to put two things here in the chat. The first one, there are 108 of you in total, and only 13 of you are subscribed at this point. And so what that means is I have to look up the other almost 100 of you every week. So if you could please take a moment, and this is my fault, we had spring break and then I was sick last week. But if you could please take a moment to make sure that you still have your subscription status to Twitch, I would really, really appreciate it. So many of you, as I mentioned, have fallen off. Only 13 of you are still subscribed. And so what that means is every week I have to look up all of the rest of you and match you with your real name and highlight it and everything. So if you could please take a moment when we're done today or even right now to renew that, I would really appreciate it. Remember that if you only have the crown next to your name, that you're not subscribed. So Joelle, Janelle, Pauline, Chance, and I know a few of you have said you've struggled to figure that out. But if you have a moment to go back and reconnect your Twitch and Amazon accounts, or just resubscribe for free for the next 30 days, that should cover you for almost the rest of the semester, and it would make my life way easier. And right now, especially with me being sick, I would really appreciate that. So just as a quick reminder, if you're on our Canvas page and you go back to modules, you can go to this page here to find how to find me on Twitch and subscribe. If you've never done this, it's not too late. Again, I would appreciate it. And this would give you a chance to do that. You can follow the steps right here to go ahead and subscribe. And then I also have the steps right here if you need to resubscribe. And I know a few of you have really struggled with this. Let me show you one last time. And again, I don't want to harp on this too much, but it definitely is really helpful for me. So let me show you one last time. I'm going to go to Twitch. And I'm just going to go to a random channel. I watch a lot of football Twitch streams during the football season. So let's go to a football one. Mike McClure, I missed football season. I'm ready. The draft is coming up and there's a lot of things happening. So let me mute that really quickly. Or not. So if you're on my Twitch page, the Psyched with Setmire Twitch page, you're going to want to click right here. See how underneath there's this purple subscribe for free bar on there. And hopefully you can see this. I think I've made it where you can see it. Yep. So if you click on this, on that down arrow, it's going to bring up a big box. And all the way at the bottom is that use Prime subscribe for free. See how it has the little crown right here? So if you click on that, and then you can subscribe for free with Prime one more time. And again, this is only good for 30 days, which is why so many of you have fallen off. But if you can, I would definitely appreciate you doing that. Looks like you still maybe can't. You can still see it. That's good. But I just want to make sure that I remind you one last time, again, just to make my life easier. So thank you so much for those of you who go figure that out today or who have been doing it all along. The next thing, our next Twitch live stream, will be on Wednesday next week. So we'll be on Wednesday 4/20 at 11:30 a.m. just like this week. One last thing too, if you're watching this later, so if you're watching this as a recording, if you're subscribed, I still show you as attending live. Even though you didn't attend live, it still shows me that you were there. And I can count that as attendance, so you can do the extra credit. So just one more reason to try and do that. Our next Twitch live stream will be next Wednesday morning. And then the last thing, let me give you the extra credit for this week, so you can earn those 2 points for joining me. So I'm going to put this here in the chat. Your extra credit question for today is, what are the 3 stages of the general adaptation syndrome? What are the 3 stages of the general adaptation syndrome? And you just need to list them. Hold on one second. Someone had a question here. can't talk and type at the same time apparently. So if you want to answer that, you'll go back to Twitch. I'm sorry, back to Canvas, and you're going to go to our week number 13 that we're currently in. So I'm going to scroll all the way back down to week 13. Click on optional Twitch extra credit number 13. And then up here you can click on start assignment, which will bring up that little text box for you to go ahead and type your response. Okay, so this is where you can do that. Hit submit, get the little confetti burst, and anything else in there. Confetti and trophies, I like it. And that will allow you to get those 2 points of extra credit. So please make sure that you're doing that. Get those 2 points. That will also be something you can count on that self-assessment for the week. And if you aren't subscribed, it won't count if you're watching this later. But if you are subscribed, it will still show me. So thank you again for trying to figure that out. Sorry to keep mentioning it, but it really does save me an incredible amount of time. So other than that, I think that is everything that I wanted to go over with all of you. I hope you all had a wonderful spring break and that you're all hanging in there. Again, just a few weeks left of the semester and then we're done. So I will hang out for a little while here if you do have any questions. Otherwise, we're officially done and you can take off. I will post this recording in a little bit once it is downloaded, and then I re-upload it onto Canvas. So take care of all of yourselves. Hang in there. Hopefully you're healthier than me. And I will see you all next Wednesday at 11:30 for our week number 14 Twitch live stream. So I'm going to minimize my video, but I will hang out for a little while if you do have any questions at all. Thank you. Thank you as well. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, both of you. I'm doing better, but it's slow. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the well wishes. Hopefully when I see you next Wednesday, I will be crystal clear and 100%. I'm looking forward to that day. So hopefully it is, hopefully it's coming.